Right now, the Middle East is on fire. A single spark has ignited a three-front war that's escalating by the hour, and it's pushing the entire region right to the brink. Today, we're going to break down exactly how this happened and what it all means for the rest of the world.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're anchoring this whole thing to today's date, March 10th, 2026, and for a really important reason. This isn't some history lesson. This is a live firestorm that is reshaping our world as we speak.
So, here's the big question we're trying to answer. How did we get here? How on earth did one single targeted strike explode into a full-blown regional war in just 2 weeks? Let's trace the steps.
First up, a region on fire. We're going to look at the spark that lit this whole inferno. Just look at the speed of this escalation. It is absolutely wild. On February 28th, a joint U.S.-Israeli strike takes out Iran's supreme leader. Just 2 days later, Iran hits back, and they hit back hard. By March 5th, one of the world's most vital waterways is totally choked off. And then, a day after that, the financial gloves come off. The pace is just breathtaking, and it's left the whole world scrambling.
So that brings us to the first of the 3 fronts we're talking about, the military battlefield. This is the kinetic war. We're talking missiles, drones, and boots on the ground.
I mean, just look at the sheer scale of this thing. It's a true tit for tat. The US and Israel have launched more than 2,000 airstrikes. In response, Iran and its proxies, these are allied militant groups it supports, have unleashed over 1,000 drones and missiles just at the UAE, not to mention all the other attacks on US and Israeli assets across the region.
And this is where we get to the devastating human cost. This number, over 1,200, is the death toll being reported inside Iran from those airstrikes so far. It's just a stark, brutal reminder of the reality on the ground. And that figure, sadly, is climbing every single day.
And you have to understand, this conflict is not contained. No way. It's spilling over borders. Hezbollah, which is Iran's most powerful proxy, is firing rockets deep into Israel, and that has prompted an Israeli ground incursion into southern Lebanon. We're also seeing casualties mount everywhere. U.S. troops are being killed, and tragically, so are civilians in Israel, in Lebanon, and all across the Gulf.
Okay, now we need to quickly understand a key military term here, joint forcible entry. The simplest way to think about it is kicking down the door. It's not a full-scale invasion. It's a fast, hard-hitting operation to grab a critical spot, like an airfield, so you can open a path for more forces to follow.
So here's why that matters. While President Trump has said that a big ground invasion isn't part of the plan right now, the Pentagon is keeping its premier door kickers, the 82nd Airborne, on standby. This sends a very powerful signal. It tells Iran that the U.S. absolutely has the option for a lightning-fast surgical strike to seize a key location if the White House decides to give that order.
All right, let's shift gears to the second front, the economic choke point. This isn't a war of missiles. This is a war of money and oil, and it all revolves around one very narrow strip of water.
This chart tells you everything you need to know about why this little choke point matters to the entire world. The Strait of Hormuz is basically the planet's main oil artery. And as you can see, a whopping 80% of the oil that flows through it is headed to Asia. This makes a global giant like China, which gets 40% of its oil from right here, incredibly vulnerable.
This quote from CSIS, well, it says it all. Iran has successfully turned this choke point into a weapon. By threatening any ship that tries to get through, they've effectively put a tourniquet on that global oil artery. And believe me, the whole world is feeling the pressure.
And here is what that pressure looks like in cold, hard numbers. Right before this all kicked off, oil was at $85 a barrel. As of today, it's rocketing past $115. That's almost a 40% jump in 2 weeks. And those costs, they're going to ripple through every single part of the global economy, from the gas you put in your car to the food you buy at the grocery store.
But look, this economic war cuts both ways. And what is a really stunning countermove, the UAE, a country that for years has been a key financial hub for Iran to get around sanctions, has frozen billions of dollars in Iranian assets. This severs a critical economic lifeline for Tehran, squeezing them financially at the exact moment they need cash the most.
This takes us to our third and final front, the global chessboard. This is where we pull the camera back and see how this regional conflict is literally reshaping world alliances in real time.
This statement right here from President Trump, it basically slams the door shut on any kind of immediate diplomatic off-ramp.
By demanding unconditional surrender, the White House is setting an incredibly high bar for stopping the fighting. It suggests the goal isn't just to punish Iran, but to completely dismantle its ability to wage war.
This table gives you a fantastic snapshot of this incredibly complex web of interests. You've got the US and Iran locked in this non-negotiable standoff. You've got Russia, always looking to counter US influence, reportedly feeding intelligence to Iran to help bog the US down. China is desperate for things to calm down because its entire economic engine is at risk. And the Gulf states, they're caught right in the middle, furious at Iran, but absolutely terrified of a wider war breaking out on their doorstep.
So, what happens next? What we've seen is a war being fought on 3 deeply interconnected fronts, and it's all leading to one very, very uncertain future.
So to recap it all, we have a military war of missiles, drones, and troops. We have an economic war being fought with oil prices and frozen bank accounts. And we have a geopolitical war that's pulled in Russia, China, and the entire region. And the scary part is, each of these fronts is feeding the others, creating this spiral of escalation that is incredibly hard to stop.
And that leaves us with the one critical question on everyone's mind today, on March 10th, 2026. With diplomacy completely off the table and the battle lines drawn in the sand, is there any path forward besides a bigger, wider, and even more destructive war?